A person who has a low self-esteem, do you think they know that they have a low self-esteem?
I think they know, but they avoid. They avoid to labor the process of dealing with that.
True. And your daily life, you can't say you don't know, or you can't see that you have a low self-esteem, because you stepping outside, the world reminds you, oh, dude, you have a low self-esteem. And it doesn't just say, dude, you have a low self-esteem. It even tells you that you need to work on that. This is who I am. This is me. They take it, they bring it on identity now. They identify themselves with a low self-esteem. It's the same thing with victimhood. People, like you were saying, someone says, but this always happens to me. You know, if you've experienced some kind of pain or trauma, they begin to they identify with that state to say, no, but this is who I am. This always happens to me. It's like when your heart gets broken over and over, and you get to a point where you start identifying with that. To say, no, me, my heart is always gets heartbroken. And it's this thing that you are saying, very important. They avoid the process of being on the other side. And sometimes it's because they are not familiar with the other side. So they get comfortable in this state, in this state of victimhood. But do people, self-introspection, do people ask themselves, how would life be on the other side? What caused me now to go back to the gym is, okay, I'm used to being fat, and I think I've gotten comfortable in being fat. But how would life be on the other side? You understand? How would life be if I was fit? I had a six-pack. You understand? When I wear my clothes now, and the clothes I'm gonna wear on the other side, is it gonna be the same? You understand? I'll obviously know that the other side of being fit and good looking is beautiful, is nice, but I would avoid that side, because getting to that side involves what? Waking up around 4 a.m, going for that jog, and doing all of the process without seeing results the first 3 weeks.
And that sacrifice.
People avoid that. Then I'd rather remain in this comfortable state. But if people can really do self-introspection, I think change is possible. Not when I say self-introspection, don't just look and sit back.
Yes.
Oh, la mia flopa. Oh, la mia flopa. La mia flop. Okay, we are floppers. So
what should happen?
What's supposed to happen now that you realize that we are flop in this area? There are people who don't even know how to talk. The moment you step outside, not even outside, even your family tells you, makes you aware. You need to work on your ability to speak with people. You need to work on your communication skill.
Absolutely.
You understand? But when you've gotten so comfortable in the disrespect of your communication that, still going back to this, the other side is not familiar. You feel like, if I can change the way I speak, if I can change the way I do this. But do you really know? You see, we spoke ever since we met when you were in grade 11. Grade 10, late grade 10. Ever since we met, it has always been theory. But there's something about theory that I realized. Just because you've got the theory of something, it doesn't mean you really know it. The practical domain is what really teaches you certain things. You understand? I can say, being fit, having a six-pack is nice. by theory and seeing it kwabanye abantu.
Right.
But I don't really know that
Right.
unless I go through the process of becoming that thing.
Right.
And then when I'm embodying lento leyo,
Yeah.
then I know what okay, no, being fit is really nice.
Mm.
It's like I know how terrible being fat is. You understand?
And it's not a complicated thing to find out. It's easy to see your fat.
You
It's
understand?
not like you have to sit and ponder for a sky to see. You know, also there's a fascinating thing that psychologists speak about. They say when you're dealing with a patient, and now you're a clinician, like you're a psychologist, you're helping people through their matters, you need to convince them that they are at the center of the world. They are the ones who have control over things, and they are the ones who have to go and seek that control and find it and tend the things around in their lives. Because a psychologist is a theoretician. He's complex in thinking. He can diagnose a problem and even help you with the self-introspection. If the problem is you cannot self-introspect to greater depth, uyakusiza. But once ekukusizile ufuna ukushiya nge-realization and a burden ukuthi your burden now is to sacrifice. Is to now take the process and say, I will stare deep into the darkness and see light. So if you're going to avoid the darkness and say, I cannot speak, I cannot do this, then you leave it in a domain of knowing. You don't find understanding. You don't get experience into the process of trying to step into the other side. Issues would remain the same.
True.
You can get theory for 100 years, but if your will is not being exercised into changing the state you are in
Towards that theory.
the theory is frustrated, and theory is going to frustrate you more, because it's the same thing with motivational speakers.
Yeah.
They touch theory so much that you get fired up, you don't understand what's happening, but you'll drown by listening to motivational speaker. Then what is happening? You need to practicalize this thing. And life is telling you that. How many times are you getting into conflict or what you cannot speak? Life is a teacher itself. You just have to be careful what it's trying to teach you. So I think the greater work is a person realizing that they have to work. That is the greater work. Because we can say the greater work is theorizing. We can theorize day and night and speak about depth of issues and diagnose issues and speak about perspectives on matters. But the fact that is, we need to touch your will to go in the direction of the process. Because that's what matters. Because Jordan Peterson speaks about this one thing. What you need to be willing to sit down with the uncomfortable truth. But from then you need to build the understanding that there must be a sacrifice that is inevitable to get away from that state. You must sit with the uncomfortable things. You can. That thing is like a prayer, because you search, you find knowledge, you understand in depth, but you must know at the end of that analysis, at the end of that self-introspection, there's an inevitable sacrifice.
True.
So it's like you must carry that cross that you will see at the end of that self-introspection, but it is that cross that you will refuse. Then you invite crosses that will crush you, because they'll find you crossless, and life will crush you.
It will demand the cross that you were avoiding. Life itself will demand of that cross as you progress in life. You see, there's something you're mentioning about, okay, my English is not as good as yours and Jordan Peterson, but
Right, yeah.
there's a realization with a theory, like you talk about the motivational speakers. They are so much on the theory that I don't believe their work is useless.
Yeah.
Right? Their work is good.
Yes.
But after you listen to them, what do you do? Because you remember, you have to account. Life will call you to account for the knowledge you've received.
Yeah.
And how life calls you to account. It calls you to account with the cross that you avoided at the end of the theory. After you've learned about this, what did you do about it? Did you carry that cross? Did you take that cross that you found at the end of the introspection? Were you able to take that sacrifice and move with the sacrifice at the end of what? Of the theory that you got. You got the theory, did the introspection, and the introspection was telling you, no, you have to take the cross of the process of becoming fit if you are fat.
Yeah.
Right? You avoid that cross. You want to bypass it
Into the other side.
and that's not even possible.
That's possible.
You will never get to the other side without the process. Angeke uvuke so slim unless you do it surgery. But all of those, that's still a cross itself.
It's a cross, yes.
You understand? It's just Uguti, it has more consequences than the natural process that you should have taken. What happens is this: if you avoid the process, you still stick to this, life will call you to account. Uguti, yeah, but you knew you were supposed to exercise. Why are you shocked that now you have a heart attack? You understand? That's accountability. That's life telling you. Why are you shocked that you have diabetes? You know you were supposed to do what? To decrease on sugar and avoid fizzy drinks. In the level up group, they've been preaching that thing, that you decrease your sugar consumption, you avoid fizzy drinks. But every time in your accountability list, you had an X on fizzy drinks.
Right, yeah.
On exercise, you had an X.
Right.
But having that accountability list, that's a reminder, daily reminder of the theory. That, hey, you have to do this. No one is going to do it for you. You avoid that. You keep on putting your X. Life will demand, hey, life is amazing. As you progress in life, life will demand the person you avoided to become. Right? You're gonna have kids that are gonna need you to play with, run around the house. You are fat. You were supposed to train, exercise, become fit. You understand? Now you have kids, you can't even play with them.
Yeah.
You are a couch potato. You can't do anything. You just two steps, walking 2 steps.
Yeah.
So pefumulela phezulu.
Yeah.
You understand?
Well,
that's life telling you who do you have.
Yeah.
Not that. But you were supposed to get to this stage as this kind of a person.
True.
You understand?
Yeah.
The problem with that is since you've made that thing your identity, even at that point, it is hard for that person to start making the necessary changes because they've identified themselves
Already.
with that state.
There, yeah.
You understand? So it's really
It's a deep net because also the book Atomic Habits speaks about that when you take things from a perspective of identity, you must understand that the change has to be intrinsic. The change must emerge from internal. You cannot just look for a result and think your results will be a shortcut or easy way to change. No, because you're a couch potato and you jog 30 minutes and tomorrow you jog 35 minutes and you are expecting that the 5-minute improvement should now change the identity with you are no longer a couch potato. No, you will, even in that process of training, you first have to defeat the mentality. So it's an internal thing that we are doing as you are doing the process. Because the process, you can follow it and still fail.
true.
You know, because you haven't convinced your brain. That's what I was speaking about. We see excellence in someone's life. True excellence is when your brain has become excellent. If your brain is not excellent, you are most likely to fail in that journey of trying to pick up the course of trying to become better. And another thing you touched that's interesting is that I can also say when we look at the it's a paradox of why people know that there's access in their accountability list, but there's nothing that happens. It's because there's an illusion of labor when they think about I am not good at speaking. You think when you overthink, you are laboring. You're not laboring when you overthink. For example, I can make a simple example. When you came here all this way, you probably had people on the way conversating, or you probably had someone screaming and calling someone. You probably had sounds of cars and all that. But your brain takes in that information and discards it. It's not valuable.
True.
Information that comes, that is not ordered in your brain, like a map, like a plan, is not important. So people spend time hearing sounds that you would hear when you are walking down the street. They don't hear for the sake of conversation and have a roadmap and see, oh, I need to make a sacrifice at the end of this thing. So you just think, and it's like it becomes a chore of that state to overthink and to see how miserable my life is, and you have beautiful fantasies about how miserable your life is, and those people are really good at making you even feel pity by just hearing them, because it's how they spend time investing in their fantasies of how bad their life is.
True.
They're great at that because they spend time in it, and they think that's labor. That's not labor. Labor is when you see the cross and you take it. The theory of this and that and all that is not the full story, unfortunately. The full story is when you've seen the roadmap, when you've seen, okay, now I have a plan. I'm listening to motivational speakers, scrolling 10 videos, people who are firing you up, people who have results, and you are seeing the results, but it's like, it must be organized. So another thing, that illusion, it becomes a reality of that person. When you are judging from a sober mind, you can appear judgmental to that person.
True.
Yeah, because you have a sober judgment. No man, fix your life. No man, fix your life. But to them, it's their reality. So another thing, as you are speaking to that person, you need to defeat them. You need to first convince them that what they are saying is illusion. Then, from then they will then take the steps to say, oh no, what I'm saying is an illusion. It means that now I'm a patient, I have to be treated. You know, because some people don't want to believe they're a patient. They want to accept life. They're like, mundo so, then what? And no, you cannot arrive to that state of mind as a person. We need to show you that thing, that mentality. You must secondly then say, that is the first problem. Then let's move from there.
Now that you went in that direction, I'm having a realization that this thing is really broad even in relationships. You've heard of people that say, yeah, you said you love me the way I am. This is who I am. But that's wrong. Because when you say this is who I am, you are closing the door to change.
To develop.
And develop and become better. You have put yourself in that state like for life. And when you're in a relationship, it's not just about you. The change has to happen because it's not now only about you. It involves another person. And you are coming together maybe with differences. That means there has to be a change for you to meet at a certain point. There's a certain a pivot that has to happen. Both between the two of you. You understand?
Sure.
I cannot say, yeah, me, I'm a liar. This is how you found me. You understand? Then that means you have no sense of accountability.
True.
If you say you are a liar and you said you love me as a liar as I am, no, but there has to be change. There has to be change. Yeah, I'm fat. You said you love me as fat as I am. Really, that's why I'm against this thing of plus size modeling. That thing is nonsense. We are promoting something that is wrong.
True. Absolutely.
Like we are rewarding you for being fat instead of encouraging you to change. We are making you.
Everyone else.
You get me? We are putting you in a state to say, nah.
Let's celebrate.
There's really no need for you to go to the gym to build that discipline. Take care of your health. Take care of of this and this and this. Build your life in this way. But we are rewarding your laziness. We are rewarding you. We give it a name. We say plus size category. Plus size modeling. Yeah, no, you're a plus size girl. Do your thing. That's really nonsense. Instead, we should be encouraging people towards change. Oh no, you don't qualify to becoming a model. If you really want to be a model, do you really want to be a model? True. Okay, let us see you taking the process, carrying the cross to having that body.
People don't want to do difficult things.
It's like, for a person to be a doctor, there's a process into becoming a doctor.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. We can't take you to practice medicine going through the medicine.
No.
If we tell this, we reward these plus size models, Zakona. It's like we are calling someone who did not go through the practice to
a champion.
You
are a champion.
You are a champion.
You didn't.
You are a doctor without the process. What the heck is that? We can't do that. Modeling is beautiful. When you see someone with a certain type of a body, it tells you about a particular discipline that they have. You understand? And that's something that should be rewarded. That's something that says, wow, the amount of work it took for that person to get to that. It's even those who seem natural. There's a certain way they have to eat. There's a certain way they eat to maintain that. So there's a work that must be done. But when you eat your pizza, you eat whatever, you live anyhow, but we still reward you for that.
Sure.
We are rewarding it diabetes to say, you go girl, plus size. No, people have to change. Unfortunately, change is not nice.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing about change is the process. I remember I once spoke and said the statement that a person who loves the journey more than the destination will walk further than the person who loves the destination.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So as you get in the process and you become so addicted to the process, I believe it's what you spoke about with SOG yesterday about science. Ukuthi kunalaba fika kuba ngathi asikhona
push up the system.
But if you look at their lives, they had a process. And what were they doing? They enjoyed the process of trying to,
push that barrier.
Those are the honorable things that we talk about.
Sure.
You understand? So if when you're going to stay in your self-pity mode and you have identified yourself with that, it's nonsense because change has to happen.
True.
You have to change. You can't stay in that state forever. Oh man.
And the dark realization also that follows from that is the person hate themselves.
True. Yeah.
Because now you want to corrupt the world. You want to deceive us and say, I love myself. No. The truth that you find a lot of people who are there, they are miserable.
True.
But because now to comfort their misery, to comfort the victimhood, we blank all these lines. We then put a gray line. We say, everyone's beautiful, plus size, whatever, come to modeling. And we're like, how is the world going to be? Where is the order going to be in the world if we are just blanking everything? Everything you find, left, right is the same thing. We are going in a dangerous territory.
True.
When we become comfortable with such things. And that tells you that there's a point in someone's life where a cross came.
Yeah.
There was a cross, but this person didn't pick the cross.
They ended up manipulating things to their advantage.
Exactly.
I avoided a cross, so instead of suffering the consequences of avoiding the cross publicly, let me just endorse my laziness and call it plus-sized modeling.
Yeah, it's
you understand?
It's just something that does not really make sense.
Oh man, change is inevitable for everyone. That cross is there for everyone.
Yeah.
There's a certain change that has to happen.
It's a sacrificial element, and it's a problematic thing what the world has become, because when you stand there at that platform, you become an ambassador. You become something people aim at. Then where is everyone going now? If we have lowered the target and say, because Nina, you can't do this. We pull the standards down. We say, you can't reach there. We pull the standards down. This thing's deadly. It's like, should we do the same thing with education?
Oof.
So let's say everyone who gets level 1 is enough to.
Yeah, no, that's good.
No, that's good. That's good.
True.
Everyone, let's pull the standard down. What does the world become? Where is incompetence in that sentence?
True. You can't play soccer, but you're good.
You have legs. No, simple differently. Do you think people can watch that? So you see, it's.
I think also now
dangerous.
You touched it. We've made the most useless things a template. Because Kubanati, we are introducing something into the society that is nonsense. But because we've already put a template, now my plus size models, Miss South Africa plus size. And then those who are coming behind, they like, there's not really a need for me to be working out. There's not really a need for me to be fit, because if this one, because they have benefits. Lavantla, you are Miss South Africa plus size. You have benefits. There are things you are getting. You are living a successful life according to this world. But then, what are we saying to that kid who's fed from a young age? Are we encouraging them to say, that's fine?
Put your life at risk and don't care.
Guys, this thing is deep.
Yeah, it's deep, because also you notice with the people who lose their fight. In fact, they don't lose their fight, but they forfeit the fight. They don't want to participate in the fight. Then they go up at the stage and they show everyone that they didn't pick the cross.
True.
That is the common thing with everyone. You are now showing the world, Uguti, I avoided the cross, so can you.
But I'm reaping the benefits.
I'm reaping the benefits.
There are benefits of avoiding the cross.
The cross.
Avoiding the process.
Avoiding the process.
You can still be something.
Because, that's what they're advocating.
Ooh.
Then the rise of weaklings.
The
world becomes a corrupt place like that. Because people are going to be like, you're telling me I have to be a disciplined person. I can't.
Yeah.
So I should stand up and slap you and say,
yes,
that should be. When you cannot, it ends there. No, it's a deep thing when you lose a fight with yourself and you become a platform to the world. You corrupt people.
Yeah.
You corrupt people.
Fully, because you have to convince the world that having avoided the cross is still good. And you see, the problem is that it starts with you convincing yourself. You see? After you have tried to convince yourself, though you lie, even you yourself, you are not that convinced. You have to convince the world now to say, nah, man, there's really no need. So that you can have a team with you of where you are comforting each other to say, no, this is good. We are good the way we are. What would happen if one from that community would actually go back and say, you know what, let me take the process and see. That one that created that platform, that became a platform, says, you know what, this is not it. I've been deceiving myself, and now I've called the whole world into this deception. Let me go and change. When he goes and change, the world is already corrupted because he has instilled beliefs in these people, believes to say, no, life can still be good without having carried the cross, without having gone through the process. You can still live a good life. And he or she is not there anymore. He went back and carried the cross, but the delusion is still there.
The person will just survive the collapsing building, and everyone continues to die, continues to be miserable, and everything collapses. There's something Elon Musk did which shocked the world. He got to Twitter and buying a company with so many thousands of employees. He fired 80% of the staff. Then the company X ran on only 20% of the staff, and now it's functioning perfect. It's performing. It's there. When he was doing that, people were going crazy. Why? He was targeting incompetence. People are hanging around.
Oh yes.
People are hanging around. So you are holding a status of working for a Silicon Valley company, but you are not productive.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? You're not productive. He has productive people now. People are enjoying what they are doing. They're fired up. Those people are fired up. They are on top of their game. They're coming out of magazines monthly, weekly, because of the process they enjoyed and the benefits they had from that process they enjoyed. Now they are part of Twitter's 20%, which is running the company perfectly. Not all this nonsense filled with office people left and right, but you see people are not doing what they're doing.
You see, I think that's a secret to a lot of things. Let's target competence, because there are people who got into positions with connections, but they are not competent. They avoided the process. But for us to level up to be successful, let's work with people who are competent, with people who went through the process, people to whom we said, go research about this. They actually went through that struggle, they carried that cross, they did their research, and they became competent. And then we say, you know what, come, here's a position. Than just you coming to me and say, my sister would like to be part of the leaders or the mentors in Level Up. Okay? Yeah, so since I'm a leader myself, I thought, let's just put her in. Is your sister competent? Nah, she's not competent, but she'll learn on the way. Okay, no, we can't do that. What are we promoting when we say, your sister can come? We're promoting incompetence.
And we're dealing with people, not dealing with projects.
We're dealing with people. You're figuring incompetency, and she's gonna we giving her a position of influence on other people. That means the way she got in, what we have taught her is that process is not important. You can still win without process. She gets in, we put her in charge of a certain number of Level Up members. She's gonna push that narrative. She's gonna bring that narrative to the Level Up members. And what are we pushing in Level Up? We are pushing the process is important. You need to go through the process. And now what is she doing? She changes the whole curriculum of Level Up. And now she creates a bunch of incompetent people. Because in your structure, let's say you are a mentor in Level Up. You have 50 people under you. The aim it is for you to, number one, those people under you, they must know the importance of process. And be willing to go through the process. If you, as a corrupt leader, if you are corrupt, a person who avoids the cross, you avoid the process, you are leading people, you're going to lead a generation of people who are going to be like you. Avoiding the cross. What are we doing to society? We are corrupting the whole society, because out of that 50, there are people who are supposed to be under them. So you see, you've corrupted a line, a generation, just by one person who's incompetent. So this is something we need to be really strict about. I am closing it here.